everyone. In this class, we'll travel to Seonunsa Temple. Seonunsa Temple in Gochang, is also an unforgettable destination for the emotional nature. When the maple tree illuminated, the stars seemed to glisten in the black sky. Nature tries to extend space through the light and the shadow and create a new space. Viewers can feel light and mentally stable comfort. Infinite Mirror Room. One of famous artists in Japan, Kusama Yayoi. She's a Japanese installation artist. Implements consistent work concepts and themes of obsessive compulsive disorder, hallucinations, various media and expressions. She directs light under the theme of the light, a vision in a space. She also expresses light and the shadow well in the nature. Entering the exhibition's space, the works are expressed. The walls and the ceilings are both mirrors, maximizing the endless repetitive effects of the dot. Like in the first and the second pictures, there's lots of dots in the space. Even through the mirrors, one can observe the special environment of the boundary between reality and reality. When the glisters of more than 100 light bulbs begin to move in the light of the ceiling, we lose our sense of the space, slowly sucked into the environment, as if the various iterations, overlaps of the stars, glistening point in the black sky, reflect the static and dynamic elements well. The static forces of colors and shapes transform into dramatic ones by adding the moving elements of the lighting. The thick fog and clouds. I took pictures of this picture. It's in the middle of sunshine. Just as the moon flows through the clouds, sun over the rooftop, slowly flowing through the morning clouds. At the entrance of Seonunsa Temple, thick fog and clouds greet the front. Must be a temple. The clouds stay, perhaps to try to remain on the clouds. The hazy fog and the floating on the clouds, the hazy reflection of the roof tile between the sky and the clouds make us feel so much calm. This foggy in a clouds place remind me one of the famous installation artist, Leandro Erlich. The work of Leandro Erlich uses visual illusions, express the clouds of nature, reveals artist's respect for nature itself. I feel as I could, reach the clouds in the front of my eyes. The closer and closer look to translucent, shapes of the spray shapes and layers of glass, placed between space to express the cloud, expressing the volume of the clouds. It seems like even one simple cloud volume is enough to sometimes more than a complicated life and too much meanings. Seonunsa Temple's ink and wash painting. It was a snowing day. There's Manseru, This place called Manseru that stands in the way. A snow scene like silver unfold along the range of the Dosolsan mountain. White snowflakes rose from a branch to branch. The snow covers Seonunsa, the winter scenic. It becomes clear and clear. The beautiful nature, beauty of the logs is not trimmed, but is made of the pillars and the beams. Behind the Manseru, Daeungbojeon is holding out. The building was built on a relatively high stone axis with a low base. The columns are cylindrical, and some of them are natural using a curved members. The exterior of Daeungbojeon Hall is uh, relatively splendid, while the interior exhibits delicate architectural techniques while modulating decorations. Daeungbojeon Hall can be seen from the front, but it is always exciting to see in any directions. So I sketches in the different directions. First and the second sketches. This shows the harmony between the pillars and the temple with nature. It creates the peak of the temple. You just step gently on snow. You will see an ink painting of the snow piled up along the cool stream of the valley. White snowflakes bloomed like ink paintings. Snow flowers covered in the thin branches make everyone in the world forget their trouble. That's why we sometimes lose our mind when we go up to temple. The birds flock together and begin to cover persimmons on the thin branches. It was taken on a color, but as if it were taken in black and white, it looks black and white everywhere. Today I miss ink paintings a lot. Only white and gray rather than a natural painting painted by the blue sky behind the snow scenes. The ink painting drawn in a black ink has the overwhelming power to deal with the colorful colored paintings only with the concentration of ink and a touch of the brushes. This is one of famous artwork, 이응노, 고암 이응노 선생님의 scenery. The work done in 사군자 or landscape with ink even feels the energy of the landscape even though it is not a realistic description. Guam, he focused on the characteristic of the ingredients and tried to make the most of the properties of the ink, brush, and water. These naturally lead to abstract work by paying attention to revealing the properties of the water and the food, how the brush remains, and how it spreads before the shape is depicted. The ink and wash painting of the Seonunsa Temple seems to be suitable, very suitable only for the antique landscape, the mountain. These seems to contain the image of us today. The red camellia, withered spot. See, there are two pictures. One shows, nature, camellia. The other shows, the backprint. In the hillside behind the Daeungbojeon Hall, there is a camellia. Camellia forest spread like a folding screen. The forest, over 500 years old, more than 2,000 camellia trees about 6 meters high, magnificent. A green tunnel was opened after the colorful cherry blossoms had set in. The forest will soon be overgrown. Warm spring sunshine drops down the clear water of the Dosolcheon stream on the left and the mid. First, after passing through the entrance is a space with tombstone of the dense fir trees. The nearby, the trace of 추사 김정희, 백 백파선사비. We call this 백파선사비. 추사 김정희 선생님의 작품입니다. Which shows the appearance of hundreds of years old nature monument. The first picture, Songak, in Camellia forest, the true features of the Chusa, remembered, the sharpness of the tip of the brush to express there is no eternity. Close your eyes for a moment to the sounds of the wind flowing through the fir trees. The tombstones are slightly different from each other, form a quiet chord. Let's talk about Chusa Kim Jong-hee. He is a nature scholar. Was good at poetry, books, and paintings. An artist, succeed in globalizing, Jingyeong area, where Joseon, blossoms its own culture. The plaintive red daffodil. After crossing, Geungnakgyo Bridge, passing through the Cheonwangmun Gate, entering the precinct, the place was spacious and well organized. The Buddhist temple and the temple are all triangular shaped roof, and proportions between the front columns of each building the same according to the style of the Daeungjeon, giving a calm overall feeling. At sunset, you can see red daffodils as if they were covered with the red carpets. In autumn, the red daffodils of the daffodil family give a spectacular view around Seonunsa Temple. The flower bowl sprouts leaves only after the flower has faded. It seems to show mournful love can never be met. The flower root meaning is sad memory or unbelievable love. Unlike its elegant figure, the color is so colorful, seductive, it is unlikely to match the temple. The poison at the root of the flower bowl has been used to preserve Buddhist temple and Buddhist paintings. It is said in Dancheong or Taenghwa. The Taenghwa is Buddhist painting, Buddha, Bodhisattva, and sages are drawn on cloth or paper, hung on the wall. So these Taenghwa, decorate the temple, not get sick or bugs if they are applied with the root of the red daffodils. So daffodils are very highly toxic. This flower, a type of daffodils, is usually in full bloom from September to October. It's widely used as interior props. It's colorful, a seductive shape and a color. Also widely used tattoo, personal symbol, materials such as wallpaper, curtains, and clothes, etc. This the colorful and seductive image of the flower is not awkward at all. Even with the traditional Korean brush expressed in any style with artistry. Camellia in a full bloom. It is rare for camellia flowers to remain as a beautiful forest. There's 3,000 camellia trees, some 500 years old, surrounded by folding screens in the backyard of Daeungjeon, or in the Seonunsa Temple. And despite the sea breeze throughout the winter, she finally burst into love. Let's see last picture shown the bird. Camellia flowers in the middle of winter. The butterflies and bees not active, so it is difficult to receive pollen. It is replaced by a chestnut, flank white eye. This bird is a symbiotic relationship, where you can eat honey from camellia flowers in winter when honey is, precious. It looks, cute as if it is, wearing a makeup, and it is gentle bird, comes close, without avoiding people. The being surprised like other birds. The upper part of the body is yellowish green and the lower part is white. The white band around the edge of the eye adds cuteness. The features of the bird resemble the color of the olivine with the subtle colors, as if yellow and green. In other words, it is living gem. Um, One of the icon, the design logo of the tweeters, the birds singing, is a good representations of the birds' cute, floral. The motif of the actual tweeter logo is, mountain bluebird. One of the birds conforms to the image of the bluebird, a symbol of happiness close by. The roundest, softest looking bluebirds seem to tweet and cry, but in fact, it is said to cry choo choo or few few, as all birds do when the fur gets thick in the cold. They look small and round and look like a blue tennis ball. Literally, and makes them happy, just as you enjoy the little joy of your daily life, like the happiness that comes. The wonder of camellia flowers. When I went to see the camellia flowers in the Seonunsa Temple, the camellia flowers have not yet bloomed. As feeling of a poet, 서정주 시인, he mentioned this, poetry. Camellia always makes people's heart, flutter, like the floral words of Camellia. Gabriel Chanel loved the most, Camellia Precious ring, inspired by Camellia, is one of the jewelry designs, embodies the wonders of the nature, Like this, jewelry designers start designing to capture the wonder nature of the world in their hands. Uh, the picture in the, those three, let's see from the first, magic forest ring, uh, moss ring, and the thorn bands. These features rhythmical movements of the branches falling from the trees and dancing down the wind. Those are born directly inspired by the nature, inspired by the most perfect form of the nature. The work of designer Alice Moran tries to capture nature as it is. Her concept is why she has always admired and loved the culture, life, gained through the travel in order, you know, in order to travel to different countries. Yeah. The animal-shaped ring, earring of Defana Simmons. Uh, this is work embodies animals in nature in an elegant and a lively manner. Let's see middle pictures. Four pictures inspired by nature, such as wildflowers, with ears, cactus, enchanting luxury jewelry. This beautiful by itself and expresses the creations and expression of natural design, the order and the harmony of the nature, especially the aesthetic, the design given by the nature. Also in enchanting, Bulgaria's forever collections um, is an enchanting diamond of four petals. Chumet, Pachamang, Apollinaire diadem is laurel trees means victory and immortality, and Tiffany and Co's Tiffany paper flower diamonds clustering is a platinum pins. The Tiffany paper flower diamond cluster necklace, which is the last one, based on a fixed shapes, express the beauty of the asymmetrical pattern when it is organically engaged by setting up a round brilliant cut diamonds. Let's just see picture up there, inspired by the uh, Bavarian peak, a cactus. It looks like a cactus, right? Cactus fruit, Christopherized uh, names, right? And it means achievement. Shows a jewel with the light that makes you pour out energy and chase away. Camellia has nothing to throw away. The petals are dried and then drank in a tea, and the fruit is used as cooking oil by squeezing oil, or as an atopic skin product for polishing atopic skins. These camellia trees of Seonunsa Temple are believed to have been planted to protect the temple from the fire at the time of the temple's foundations, and said to have used the oil of the camellia as a fuel for lightning. While it was clear that he was praying for trouble and desperation, how was it to see the camellia oil glistening to all the lanterns. The light to avoid darkness, light to direct, the emotion to create a gentle and a subtle atmosphere. Ambient lighting, directing lighting, etc., are essential elements, to lighten and make life comfortable. In lighting part, the selection of the materials is made by penetrating patterns to minimize weight to reduce the weight of the materials, by giving various angles to effectively create the shadow. These technologies. So one of famous lighting designer, Paul Henningsen, even present real of emotions, already refract light to the beauty of the nature in the early 20th century. He creating gentle and a subtle atmosphere. The shape of the bud, in particular, it combines with the geometric elements to create a shadow effect by using the repetition of the points, lines, and sides and overlaps of patterns. The movement by the light weight of the material, the structure of the joint add to the visual place factors. Not only was it beautiful, but it also secured the necessary illuminations, intensity, and lampshade. These consisting of the golden ratio spread the light most appropriately. This dramatic scene, perhaps a wonderful 20th century design created by Paul Henningsen. As one can see from their living environment, why many people and beautiful and practical lights were created in northern Europe. The life under emotional dim light of our former ancestors is bringing to mind. A wish in a stone, Stone pagoda meets as you walk along the mountains on a forest path. Seem to be, very quiet, but has the power to stop the road. The power is probably in the hope, would have been made by building stone pagodas. There's a child is carefully building a stone tower with his hand in the first pictures. Let's hope the wish of the child builds a stone pagoda will come true. I hope all the wishes in those small stones come from the sincerity of the moments of the wish, and hope it will be beautiful, and whether small or big will come true. You can see stone pagodas in any country or place, just as hope becomes simple when the world becomes rough. It should be possible for anyone in the world to live with hope without despair. Although there are very few changes in the stone towers, they actually change little by little from day to day. But sometimes one more stone is piled up, and sometimes it collapses. Through the process of building and collapsing, a stone pagoda is built is not shaken by strong winds. I want to feel the wishes of unknown people who would have built piles of small stones rather than pagodas. Thank you for listening.